coming out, even though there's inclement weather. It's called so that we can participate in the ANC Security Fund. This should have been done at the monthly meeting in January, but because of all the fanfare, it somehow got overlooked. So we're taking care of this matter now so that the commission may spend money on appropriate items. If we do not participate in the ANC Security Fund, we are not allowed to write checks, and that form is due to the DC Auditor's Office no later than close of business on January 30th. At this time, I'm going to call the roll. Commissioner Pettigay-Lewis. Commissioner Pettigay-Lewis. Commissioner Pettigay-Lewis. Commissioner Keisha Shropshire. Here. Commissioner Adam Roberts.
Present.
Commissioner Bernice Blacknell.
Present.
Kathy Henderson, present. Commissioner Yvonne Buggs. Commissioner Yvonne Buggs. Commissioner Yvonne Buggs. Commissioner Clarence Lee. Commissioner Clarence Lee. Commissioner Clarence Lee. We have 4 commissioners present, and we therefore have a quorum. Ms. Keisha Shropshire, Keisha Shropshire was elected as the ANC Treasurer at the January meeting. So at this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Treasurer Shropshire, tongue twisted tonight, to make a motion that the commission participate in the ANC Security Fund.
I'd like to move to take a vote that whether or not we would like to participate in that.
Is there a second? And I also note for the record that Commissioner Pettigay-Lewis from 501 has just arrived.
Point of order, clarification.
Just one second. It's been moved and properly seconded that we participate in the ANC. I second. It's been moved and properly seconded that we participate in the ANC Security Fund. And now, is there any discussion? Commissioner Roberts.
No discussion for me.
Is there any discussion? You ready for the question?
Point of order, and the question please be restated so we know what we're looking for.
Okay, let me explain this for the new commissioners that may not understand what the ANC Security Fund is, and for members of the audience that may not understand what the ANC Security Fund is. Each year, each ANC commission, there are approximately 37 commissions in the city with approximately 237 single-member district commissioners, and the ANC Security Fund is a way of ensuring the public trust. Each year, the commission must vote to participate in this fund. It's $25. If we participate, that means if there's any theft by the treasurer or chairperson, the ANC may be reimbursed, not in full, but in part for those funds that have been misappropriated and or stolen. This issue has not been an issue for ANC 5D, but as you may know, ANC 5D was formerly ANC 5B, and unfortunately there was gross malfeasance, and that chairperson did in fact steal every penny of the commission's account. But because the commission had participated in the ANC Security Fund, those funds, a portion of those funds were reimbursed to the commission, and as a result of redistricting, those funds were redistributed, and that allowed ANC 5D to begin operating with some funds. Is there any further discussion?
If I just can restate my clarification, can we just restate the motion that you're asking us to vote on?
Participating in it. The motion is to participate for ANC 5D to participate in the ANC Security Fund. All in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Why would you oppose us participating in the ANC fund when it's to safeguard our own monies? Almost every commission participates. I'm
Not
just
almost
curious.
every commission participates.
I can't say every because I don't know if other.
This will be the first time that a commission
A point of order,
doesn't.
can the vote totals
Excuse
be
me.
announced?
Excuse me, do not interrupt the chair while
Well,
the
we
chair is
don't know what we're
speaking.
voting for.
Excuse me. Point of order.
And I
Commissioner
think
Lewis
that's
has the floor and then wait to be recognized. And again, if we have to state for the record that we expect these meetings to continue to be held according to Robert's Rules of Orders, and that means that the meetings are civil, everyone has the opportunity to get heard, to be heard, and we will not tolerate, I will not tolerate anyone speaking out of turn. If the meetings become disorderly, we are in the 5th district, and the offending party will be asked to leave. Commissioner Lewis, you have the floor, and then the chair will recognize Commissioner Roberts.
I've already asked the question. I just wanted to know the reasonings to oppose the action.
Are you directing the question to me?
Yes, because you're the one who opposed it, or you voted no against it.
Can the votes be announced?
Yes, please.
It didn't answer my question though.
I guess, well, I guess she answered the question as best as she could. We'll do a roll call. Commissioner Lewis, you voted
Or,
yes. Commissioner Shropshire,
No.
Commissioner Roberts,
No.
Commissioner Blacknell,
no.
Commissioner Henderson, yes.
Okay, now can I ask the questions to all of the commissioners who voted no? I really wanna know the reasoning behind it, because if you guys have spoken to Gottlieb or had gone to the training, you would hear that it's encouraged that we participate in the fund. It's highly encouraged. Like, I've never seen this before. And I'm relatively a new commissioner, and I had training 2 years ago, and they told us to participate. So I'm really concerned of the direction this commission is going in.
And I will make one final comment before the meeting is adjourned. It seems that the new commissioners do not understand what it takes to be an ANC commissioner, what it means to serve the community, and they don't understand what the process is. And we have a situation where there's just simple obstructionism. Certainly that is part of the democratic process, but it means that the public will not be well served by a majority of commissioners and an older commissioner who pretty much should know better to not handle your business. So again, this meeting is adjourned, and thank you for coming.
Is there an appeal process with Gottlieb for this? Like,
We can
I'm
talk
shocked.
offline. We can talk offline.
Yeah, she has a question.
Yeah, I mean, could we please have a little bit more discussion about the importance of this?
Yeah.
I think that would be good, because it is, I think it's really important. And I think the only other option, which is not a great option, is, you might know this a little bit more, but it's surety bond. But I mean, obviously, like, this is really important to participate in these funds. So,
The chair
you know, you guys
recognizes.
talk about whatever you're doing, but that's,
Thank you. The chair recognizes at this time former Commissioner Elise Bernard, who was the former commissioner for ANC 5B08. Commissioner Bernard, would you come forward? You are in a position to understand and to discuss the importance of the surety bond, and you're active in the community. I think you're also the owner of Frozen Tropics blog, and you frequently blog on issues of concern to the community. So would you mind addressing your neighbors and this commission regarding why it's important to participate in the surety fund?
okay, and I mean, I realize that you guys also have some other stuff that you're trying to deal with, but this is, I mean, there is a deadline on this, and this is, I mean,
Go ahead, sorry.
I
Mr.
understand.
Mr. Bernard, you have the floor.
Okay, no, I do think it's very important that the ANC participate in this. I mean, I was actually, when I was a commissioner, it was before the theft was going on, but I did serve with William Shelton, who's the man who stole all the money that Commissioner Henderson was talking about before, and it's a huge deal. I mean, the only other option, as I understand it, is for the ANC to participate to get a surety bond or something along those lines, and I imagine that would be more expensive, and it's pretty much the default should be that, like, you participate in this, like, you're gonna need to do this, so. I don't see another way, like, there's not time to schedule another meeting before the deadline, like,
That's
you really
correct.
need to participate in this.
That's correct. That's correct.
So, we need it if we're gonna spend any money. And I'm not sure exactly, because I didn't really contemplate the idea of not participating. But it's bad. I don't think that you can even get, I'm not sure that you can even get the funds without having that, so.
We will not be able to spend any
Can
money
you
at this
even
time.
get funds though?
There is an opportunity for this commission to revisit this issue at another time, but since we did not meet the deadline, we will not have the opportunity to call a special meeting with enough time to adhere to the January 30th deadline, so we will not be able to write any checks.
Okay, well, when is the next opportunity to revisit this?
At the next public meeting.
But
Can I
that
make
would
a
still be
comment?
okay.
Wait, order
Sorry.
please, order please.
But that would still be okay, like,
Order please. The chair will recognize Commissioner Roberts, then Commissioner Lewis, then, I'm sorry, ma'am, tell me your name.
Ms. Mann.
Ms. Mann.
Sure, thank you. I'll speak very, very briefly, and I want to be clear that I'm only speaking for myself. Others are welcome to speak for themselves if they'd like. I first want to clear up the question about a January 30th deadline. There is no such deadline. It is an administrative deadline. There is no statutory requirement that we participate in the fund by the 30th. It is.
Order please.
It's my intention, from my perspective, when there is a vote for the security fund where we've got a number of other pending items cleared up, that I would like to see us participate in the security fund. But at this point, I'm not comfortable casting a vote for that, given basically a questionable election for the position of chairman, and probably more importantly, a transition process from the old treasurer to the new treasurer that is currently pending. Where part of that process is the new treasurer has an opportunity to review past financial statements. Part of accepting responsibility for the security fund, part of that is actually accepting liability for activity that is currently pending. For example, statements haven't cycled yet, that sort of thing. So just want to clarify the position on that.
Commissioner Lewis?
I'm not trying to be combative at all. However, I received an email saying January 30th was the deadline to have the paperwork in. I'm not clear on any other issues saying that we shouldn't have our paperwork in by that date. You know, I understand that people aren't thrilled with the election results. I didn't win a seat, you know, but at the same time, I don't think the commission should be at a standstill because we're not thrilled with who's chair or who's treasurer or all of those things. We need to participate in the security fund, and like, I'm going to take it to Gottlieb and whoever else, because I can't be on a commission that is not functioning because we have personal issues with one another. And those are the things that I see happening on this commission at this point. People aren't making informed decisions, and people aren't reading or thinking. I don't know what's going on, but it appears as if people are voting in alliances versus what's best for the commission. And I'm not gonna.
Thank you. Ms. Summer?
So two things. Number one, I think the meeting was already adjourned, so anything that happens from here on out is not official. And number two, can you tell me what checks you were planning to write, or what upcoming checks are pending? You know,
Well, let me just say this. Where you've heard today, you've heard inferences that is not based on fact. What you're hearing is based on a personal agenda of an individual or individuals that are looking for leadership positions without understanding the community, without understanding the ANC process, and without understanding the district government. There are no issues of malfeasance. I was supposed to, as the outgoing treasurer, I was supposed to hand off the documents to the DC Auditor's office today at 4 p.m. That has been rescheduled to Monday at 4 p.m. The DC Auditor will then schedule a meeting with Ms. Shropshire, train her, and give her all of the documents. Everything is in order. There are no problems. There is no malfeasance. What you see here today is simply an agenda of obstructionism because individuals were not elected to leadership positions. It's sort of like going in for a job interview and then announcing your first week on the job that you want to take over and run the organization. And that's simply ridiculous. It's ambitious. There's nothing wrong with ambition, but the goal here is not to further your own personal agenda. The goal should be to serve the public. And thank you for coming out. This has been an interesting discussion. We look forward to moving forward. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised by former Commissioner Bernard's comments, given the contentious relationship we've had over the past few years. But obviously there's some common ground here around a common sense issue. So I look forward to the new commissioners, actually all of the commissioners, no insults intended to anyone. I look forward to training. I understand that the new treasurer is taking on a position for which she knows nothing about. She's not been trained. She has no idea of what's been going on. And then we have another commissioner who's attempting to reinterpret DC provisions, DC law provisions, from the perspective of an attorney. And I can't imagine why you would make that type of distinction if you're not in a position, to know what the law is. But having said that, thank you. We're not taking any other business. The only item on the agenda was participation in the security fund. That vote failed, but before we did take a motion to adjourn. We've been joined by Commissioner Lee. You must know that the commission failed to vote in favor of participating in the ANC Security Fund, so we will not be writing any checks. And hopefully after Commissioner Shropshire is trained, she will have a better understanding of her role as treasurer, a better understanding of the process, and we can possibly revisit this issue in the future. Thank you for coming. The meeting is now adjourned.
We're adjourned again.